I met her when she was still a model. Silent and self-assured, she spent a lot of time watching people. It wasn't a surprise at all that she became an actress and climbed the rungs of stardom to reach the number one position today. In a short span, Deepika Padukone has seen many seasons. She seems like she's always in control. But is she?
So Deepika, I know you hate long conversations.
I don't hate long conversations. I like talking to people who I'm comfortable with. Then I can talk.
But are there a lot of people you're comfortable with?
I think inherently I was always and still am shy and reserved. And I usually open up only with people who I'm very, very comfortable with. But I feel like over the years, and especially with my craft, and especially with failures in my life that I've gone through, I think that kind of has made me a better person today. And you also start accepting yourself with your flaws and with your weaknesses, and that's when you realize you're like, this is who I am and this is how I am. So you have to start accepting yourself first.
There is this general feeling that you're like a yesteryear South Indian star, who doesn't allow anyone close or that who's aloof. Is that true at all about you?
I don't know. I say this very often. I don't know what it is like to be me. I'll never have an outside perspective of what it is to be like Deepika Padukone, but I don't think it comes from being snobby or being a brat. I think it just comes from uh, inherent shyness, and I think in that sense, I think I'm a lot like my father. He's someone who's very, very shy, very reserved. Um, so I think maybe I get that from him.
I remember seeing you during, like, when I was working with Manish and you were doing fashion. So even then, when there were a lot of other models who were sort of having a lot of fun and jumping around, I would always see you sitting, watching and
Yeah.
observing and
Yeah.
not talking too much.
Yeah.
So how did you choose a profession which requires you to engage so much with people when you are inherently so shy?
I don't think I've always realized that I was someone who was shy. It's now that, when you do interviews, when you interact with people, that I realize that yes, largely I'm more an observer. I like watching people. I love watching people. I can sit at airports for hours and just watch people. I make up stories in my head. Like I said, I think I've come to terms with the fact that I am a certain way. There are certain things that I like about myself. There are certain things I don't like about myself. But you accept yourself for the way
Like,
you
what do
are.
you not like about yourself?
I wish I was more chatty. I wish I could. I'm not very good with conversation. Like when I meet new people, um, it takes me a while to open up and get to know them.
So when did you decide, because it must have been a very important decision for you to leave your city, your family and come to a new city and want to make a life in a profession which is so unpredictable.
In my first film, when the very famous dialogue which says, if you really, really want something in your life, you send that message out into the universe and it all happens. So I think it all just automatically fell into place.
So even while you were preparing yourself for the sports life that you were for the longest of
Yeah.
time, even at that time, at the back of your mind, you knew that you were going to
Yeah.
be sort of on screen or.
I had that feeling. I think maybe that's why I never really gave it my 100%. I always held back. And then I started modeling. That I was always sure I wanted to do. I loved being in front of the camera. When I was a kid, I had done a couple of print campaigns and TV campaigns. And my first one ended up being for one of the iconic soap brands. And I think Salman uh, saw that ad, and he was casting for one of his films at that point, and I got a call from this production house which said that Salman was making a movie and that he wanted a new girl and that he wanted me for that film. But I felt I wasn't ready at that point, and I had to let go of that one opportunity. And then Om Shanti Om happened, and then I got a call from Farah one day. She again saw one of my advertising things, and they were also casting. They were looking for a new girl, and at one point it felt like a dream, because there was this phone call that I got, and I come to Bombay and I meet Farah. That itself was like, oh my god. And then she offers me a film with Shah Rukh, and she says, if you're really good, I'll have to screen test you, I'll have to audition. If you're really good, I'll cast you opposite Shah Rukh. If you're not, I'll have to cast you opposite someone else. I can't tell you who that actor is. So I remember going to Shah Rukh's house and meeting him, and then Om Shanti Om happened, and I think that they took such good care of me and presented me so beautifully, and every aspect was taken care of. Again, something that I didn't realize at that point. Today I can sit back and analyze and say, oh, this is what they had done with me. From then on, I was really on my own. But my understanding at that point was that what I got in my first film, I'll get in every film. But after that, I didn't realize that I have to start taking care of myself also. I think in that process, somewhere in finding myself and finding what I like doing and understanding of the industry and the craft and everything was so new for me that I think I made a lot of mistakes. I think I made mistakes in the sense I don't regret my decisions today. But I feel like that phase that I went through taught me a lot.
One of the comments about Cocktail that I remember is Imtiaz Ali's comment, which said that there's a wild child in Deepika,
Yeah.
which she unleashed in Cocktail and which she normally keeps hidden. Is that true? Because that was a very different role, and you also played it with a lot more abandon than you had played your earlier roles.
I enjoyed myself. I don't think I did. I think I've stopped worrying about लोग क्या कहेंगे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे. I stopped worrying about end result and worrying about anything. I think I just let loose. I think I just enjoyed myself completely. I think a lot of that free spiritedness came from my director.
When one looks at you, one sees a very disciplined person, and you've had a sports background.
Yeah.
How much of it really helped you to
A lot.
work in the movie business?
I guess it's my South Indian thing also. Everything has to be proper and
Yeah,
organized.
in one of your interviews, I read that you like making lists.
I love making lists. I love making lists. Like, even now, recently, this whole promotion thing that we're doing, the publicist came up to me and said, listen, you're the only one who's asked for a full list on every day, what is happening at what time. So much so that I think my team has taken it to an all new level. We were flying on a chartered plane, and I've been emailed the menu
On
that
the
we're going to
flight.
be served on the flight.
But is that because you're very particular about food? Are you like a foodie?
Yeah, it's a combination of being very particular about, like, wanting to know everything. But like, food for me is everything. Like, I told Shah Rukh when we started this 1 month of promotion, I said, he doesn't need to be told. I think we've worked long enough for him. He knows that. But the one thing I say to people is, you want to keep me happy, just feed me. Like Charu keeps saying, the only visual I have of you all the time is you in a plate or you in a bowl with one spoon.
But it doesn't show at all. You've lost so much weight and you're just...
no, I
how
think
do you
that-
manage that?
I think the weight loss has to do with the madness of the shows, the slam shows. My first world tour that I did, it was so chaotic, it was so hectic, but I found time to eat in the middle of all of that.
So you said a little while ago while we were talking that
Sit
you
up, what are you
famous-
sitting
I'm
there?
sitting,
No,
I'm
you have to
sitting.
sit
I'm
up,
very
you have to cross your
comfortable.
legs. We are South Indian.
Is that okay? So you said a little while ago that failures taught a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and so what are the lessons
It's
that
my
you
best
learned?
friend. I think for me, first of all, there was absolutely no expectation from my career, in the sense that I was just really taking each day as it comes. There was no hard and fast, oh, I have to do this or I have to do anything. It was just take it as it comes, enjoy your work, and everything else will follow. And that's a mantra I still stand by.
It seems like you're always sure of what you're doing. You've thought it through, you know the pitfalls and you can handle it. You at least give that impression when one sees you. You know, I've seen you, even during modeling, I felt that about you. Huh?
It's all a farce.
Really? So what, you go through insecurity?
I'm never sure, in fact. I'm never 100% sure about anything.
When you came in initially, there was a certain... you were not outspoken, you were not revealing too much about your life, but there was nothing that was hidden. You were not trying to hide. But now I feel there is a conscious effort to keep a side of your life away from the limelight.
I think you're speaking specifically about the relationship
Relationships part of
aspect
it.
of my life, yes, I didn't want to think. I just wanted to be myself, and it's something that I was very, very proud of, and something that was the reality, whether I like it or not. But I feel like then there's a point when it starts moving away from your work, and the entire focus shifts to that. That's when you start feeling like, did I really do the right thing by, talking about it?
And you also said that your failed relationship also taught you a lot, because there are certain things that you learn in the professional zone, whether it's success, failure, but there's also a lot that happens in a personal life also.
Yeah.
So during those moments, didn't you feel very lonely in a city like Bombay?
I did. Overnight, I felt like I'd lost everything. But again, I think that those experiences in my life, everything happened all together. So I would collectively say that all those experiences in my life have made me the person that I am today.
So what is your support system in this city?
Support system in the city, tricky. It's a bit tricky because one is, I think I also keep myself so busy work wise that I don't allow for that kind of. I've realized that it's easier for the actors who've been born and brought up here because they have a life beyond work. And I feel a large part of why I keep myself so busy is so that I don't feel lonely. Again, I don't mean to sound like a loner, but I'm just saying that it's an effort.
I remember years ago chatting with Madhuri, and at the peak of her career, and she told me that it becomes very difficult because at times you question whether the person is being friends with you because
Yeah.
of who you are or what you represent.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to sift that out in people. Is that the reason also you feel that a
Yeah.
lot of times you don't make friends or you don't
Yeah.
engage too much?
Yeah. Largely that. And it's not that, see, the thing is, see, there's a difference. I have enough people to go out with and have a meal and watch a movie.
Correct.
And uh, so in that sense, it's fine. That department is taken care of. I can call people over, I can go to people's homes. uh, I have companionship in that way is there, but not. But yeah, I would think twice about completely opening up in times of distress, or I'm feeling really low, I want to talk to someone. Then it's only over the phone, because then
Correct.
that one person, I don't have that one person who I can call in the middle of the night, a girlfriend I'm saying, who will come home and where I can just cry and be and just vent. That I don't have within the city.
And do you miss it?
Of course I miss it. Of course I miss it, because then when I meet, like I've decided, me and my girlfriends have decided that once a year we're going to take time off, and whichever part of the world we are in, we're going to meet. Wherever it is, even if it's in Bangalore, even if it's in New York, wherever one of us are, we're all going to get together and we're all going to meet. And we've done it over 2 years now already. And the only thing we do is sit indoors and eat and chat and eat and chat, and whatever we do together. And it's so lovely, and sometimes we're not even necessarily talking all the time. Someone's reading a book
Yeah,
somewhere, someone's in
silences,
the
you share
kitchen,
silences.
someone's in the shower. But we have that kind of comfort. I don't feel the pressure to have to talk to that person all the time. That kind of equation maybe I miss within the city.
When you're in school and you're college, when you're a pretty girl, you get a lot of attention. Boys flirt with you, they send you notes, and has that all that happened at all?
Yeah.
And does it continue to happen now? Because I remember even when Farah had cast you in Om Shanti Om, the talk in the industry was how beautiful that new
Oh
heroine
God,
is.
please.
So are you aware at all of the kind of impact or the effect that you have on men?
Uh, why do you ask such difficult
Why?
questions now?
How is it difficult? It's so simple.
No, I don't know
It's
anything.
either yes or no.
No, I don't.
You are aware or you're not aware.
No, I wouldn't say I'm not aware, but I wouldn't say I'm aware. It's something that I don't, I mean, if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. It's not something that I'm ever thinking about.
And how do you ward off? Like, I'm sure you get a lot of that attention even while you're working with your co-stars, whether it's heroes who are flirting with you or people who ask you out for dinner. How do you deal with it? You ignore it, or do you?
I'd like to
So-
believe that it's because they think I'm an interesting person.
that
And
of course, but somehow the first thing that strikes about you is your pretty face, your beautiful eyes, and then of course one gets to know you. And as you said, it takes a lot of time because you take time
to
to warm
open
up.
up, yeah. Um, Again, like I said, I don't think of these things or these moments or these opportunities or whatever you'd like to call them. I don't really, I mean, I'm.
Because it's an integral part of anybody's life, in the sense to
What, beauty?
engage, no, to engage with the opposite gender, to have, I mean, when you're younger, you want to have fun in life, you want to meet people, you want to have relationships. Is that ever a part of your thinking at all?
Of course. Of course, engaging and meeting and going out and living life the way it should be led. I mean, all of that is obviously there, but yeah.
Because there was one meaningful relationship that you had, which then eventually didn't work out, and yet you have managed to remain friends with Ranbir Kapoor today. How does that happen? How do you manage that? Did it take a while? Did it take a lot of thinking?
I don't know. It's not something that I'd. One, it's not something that I like to keep revisiting again and again because it's been so many years, and honestly, there's been no thought. There's been absolutely no thought about what before, what during, what after. None of that, and I feel I mean I'm really happy. That we have the equation that we have, and I think we have such a beautiful
Because you
equation that
worked with
today we
him
can make
after.
such beautiful movies together. And no, we're not in touch every single day, or um, it's not one of those. But um, uh, I think somewhere we will always be very, very special to each other in whatever way, because at whatever said and done, we came into each other's lives at a very when you're at a very impressionable age. We were very young, we were very naive, but at the same time, and whatever little we shared at that point, I'm sure we respect that.
There's a lot of competition in the business. I remember reading an interview of Sonam's where she said that if at all there is anybody in the business with whom I can be friends, it would be Deepika. This was a comment. And yet, after that, in the last 2 years, there has only been rumblings about
Yeah.
what she has said and what you have said in retaliation and what she has felt. So, how is it ever possible for two actresses to be friends?
Most definitely. I'm saying even if you don't want to use the term friends, okay, uh, we can most definitely be cordial with one another. See, there's two things to it. I think first of all, there's probably a perception, pehle se, that actresses can't be friends because maybe maybe things were different earlier. But I don't think it's the same with our generation. I think things are very, very different. I think I'd like to believe that we're in a time today where we're all very, very happy to appreciate each other's work, to support each other when needed, to stand by each other when needed. And most importantly, I think being cordial is the most simple and basic thing. I mean, in my mind and from whatever I know, there's nothing has gone wrong. So yes, I do. It does surprise me sometimes when I hear of things that one has said, or because there's no amount of negativity or ill feeling for anyone. I get surprised by it sometimes. But having said that, no matter what anyone says and does, until it's an issue that someone has come and spoken to me about, or said that I have a problem with you, it's not something that I'm going to take
Has
seriously.
that
Because as
happened
far as
ever?
I'm concerned, my equation, whether with her or with anyone else, is very, very clear and very, very pure. I like Sonam for her candidness. So I most often don't even take what she says to heart. I allow her that much. And she still sends me Diwali gifts every year. I don't think there's such a big issue that, and like I said, I think at the end of the day, it's, I would like to believe that if someone had an issue with me, they would come and tell me.
But obviously there are certain issues that you feel very strongly about, like the latest TOI controversy where they published a picture which you were offended by, and it has now snowballed into a huge issue.
See, Niranjan, I think at the point I was only expressing what I felt was right at that point of time. It's something I still stand by. I think I kind of said what I had to say in the article that I wrote. And I think for me it's a closed chapter. And I've said what I've had to say.
So Deepika, something special for your fans. OLX.in is a website where you can sell anything that you want.
Okay?
We are giving your fans an opportunity to own something that you have owned before. So what have you got for us?
I have brought two things that are actually very, very special for me and something that I've been thinking about a lot of late. One is the book Open by Andre Agassi. A book that's influenced my life and a book that I just finished reading. I also thought of bringing you a notebook. It's empty, but I think it just stands for the fact that I lately feel like education in our country is something that we need to focus on a little bit more. I think all the issues that we talk about eventually boils down to lack of education, and I think that's something that I really, really want to do.
So you have to sign it for the person who's right on this. So we'll sell this book on OLX.in and the viewers can buy it from there.
Okay.
The proceeds of that will go to charity. Now my favorite part of the show, which is the Medimix Look Who's Talking selfie moment.
Okay.
Where I take a selfie.
You have to show me how.
Yes, I will show you how. So when did you
Such a
decide?
stomach came now to tell.
Are you saying I have a stomach? Deepika, you do a Deepika.
Do a Sridevi.
So when did you...
Getting bored? Enjoying? Dada, photo mat lena wahan se. Gossip, sex, fantasy. You don't need help. I am here.
Selling has never been easier. Download the OLX application, click a picture of your product and upload. Select the category of your product. Enter your details and just click on sell. So what are you waiting for? OLX पे बेच दे.